The Haunting of Blackwood Ridge. Now, before we move forward, we would love to know where you are from. So please comment below and do not forget to subscribe. The night was supposed to be perfect. Two couples, Mark and Lisa, along with Jason and Emily, had planned this trip for weeks. Blackwood Ridge National Park was secluded, untouched, and exactly what they needed for an escape from city life. With their camper set up near a dense grove, they gathered around the fire, laughing and roasting marshmallows. Earlier that day, Lisa, always the adventurous one, had found a patch of wild mushrooms and decided to add them to their dinner. The others hesitated but indulged. By midnight the forest grew eerily silent. The usual night sounds, crickets, rustling leaves, distant owl hoots, vanished. The stillness pressed in on them, unnatural and suffocating. Then came the first noise, a guttural growl. Jason shot up from his seat, scanning the tree line with a flashlight. The beam of light flickered as it caught movement. A figure crouched in the brush, its limbs contorted unnaturally, its face obscured by shadow. It had antlers, but its body was human-like, skeletal. "Oh my God," Emily whispered. "A Wendigo?" As if in response, the creature let out a piercing screech and lunged forward. They bolted for the camper, but the beast moved impossibly fast, chasing them down the narrow dirt path. The headlights barely illuminated its grotesque form before it veered into the trees, vanishing. Breathless, they slammed the camper door shut and locked it. Jason grabbed his hunting rifle, hands trembling. The four sat in terrified silence. Then, a knock, a slow, rhythmic tapping at the window. Lisa turned her head and let out a strangled gasp. A pale woman with hollow black eyes stood outside, her skin stretched tight over her bones, her lips curled into a grin that was too wide for her face. "Let me in," she whispered. "I'm so cold." "The woman in white," Lisa stammered. "We need to ignore her. Don't acknowledge her," Emily whimpered, clamping her hands over her ears. Jason checked the rifle's safety while Mark fumbled with his phone. No service. The knocking stopped, but the camper began to shake violently. The entire vehicle rocked as though something massive was pushing it, lifting it off its tires. A deafening roar echoed from the darkness. Mark risked a glance outside and immediately recoiled. "What did you see?" Jason demanded. "Mothman!" Mark croaked. "It's on the roof!" The shadow of enormous wings spread across the camper's windshield. Red eyes gleamed in the darkness, and the creature let out an ear-splitting screech. The couple screamed as the ceiling creaked, metal groaning under the weight. Then silence. The camper fell still. No creatures, no knocking, just the deafening sound of their pounding hearts. Then the sound of children giggling. Lisa squeezed her eyes shut. No, that's not real, that's not—" A small ghostly child's face appeared outside the window. It had no eyes, just black voids where they should be. The laughter warped into something guttural and wrong, distorting into deep, malicious chuckles. Jason's fingers tightened around the rifle. "We have to get out of here!" He unlocked the door and threw it open, but outside was worse. The trees shifted and moved as if alive, branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Something massive lumbered through the darkness, a hulking figure with glowing green eyes, its body covered in thick matted fur. "The dog man," Mark breathed. "We're surrounded." A distant scream ripped through the night, something inhuman and agonizing, followed by rapid, crunching footsteps moving toward them. "Run!" Lisa screamed. They sprinted toward the truck, but the ground beneath them suddenly gave way, as if the earth itself had opened up. Jason fell first, vanishing into the darkness. Emily shrieked as something yanked her backward, unseen fingers wrapping around her ankles. Mark and Lisa barely made it back to the camper, slamming the door shut behind them. The world outside had become a nightmare, a swirling abyss of shifting creatures and impossible horrors. Hours passed, morning light seeped through the curtains. Mark was the first to move, cautiously unlocking the camper door. Outside, everything was normal. No claw marks, no footprints, no sign of any creatures, just an undisturbed, peaceful forest. Lisa sat down heavily at the small camper table, rubbing her temples. We saw them. They were real, right?" Jason's eyes widened. He reached into a plastic bag, pulling out the leftover mushrooms from last night's meal. He stared at them in horror. "These weren't normal mushrooms." Lisa's stomach turned. "Oh God, we hallucinated all of it?" Emily buried her face in her hands. "It felt so real." "We need to leave, now!" Jason stood abruptly, but Mark didn't move. His face had gone pale. "Mark?" Lisa asked cautiously. Mark slowly pointed to the windshield. There, deep in the condensation from their breath, were 4 words scrawled by an unseen hand. "See you tonight." And just beyond the trees, where the morning mist lingered, a shadow stood watching. Please comment below and do not forget to subscribe.